Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Martin and I will be showing you guys our project number 4. I am part of Team 7 and we are continuing our business example using Verco here in Conway, making school supplies, as you know, and I'll kind of go over what we've got here. We've got 3 departments we've broken it down by. We've broken it down by assembly, packaging, and managers. Now we have 12 employees and we have 4 employees in each department. So we go ahead and we give some shorthand to these departments. So assembly is AS, packaging is PA, managers MA. And then we have the name of the employees. We have their skill levels within their departments, their annual salaries, and their daily costs. And we took the daily costs. We actually used an accounting standard for amount of work hours in a year, which you use 2080. And we took that hourly rate and we multiplied it by 8 to get a daily cost. And we will use that when we do our when we use Solver to get the minimum cost out of our scheduling. But that's not what we're looking at right now. We're going to look at our maximum skill that we're going to want in our scheduling, which we did find that we're going to get 124 with our data set above. And that's the maximum skill amount we can have if we're abiding by all of the constraints that we've set before before Solver. So we basically have 2 boxes here. This box is our reference box, and this box is our scheduling box that our results from Solver went into. So this box has all of our constraints in them, and I will by Friday probably list them out. We'll tackle that algebraically and list that out. But we got the job done with these 2 boxes, and I'll show you guys how we did it. We basically listed the name, the departments, and days of the week. We have a maximum amount of 5 days per week an employee can work because we're assuming they don't work Saturday, Sunday. And we also have a minimum that they have to work 2 days per week, and we did that to kind of make it a little more evened out in our scheduling, because we had a lot of people working, that were having skill working 5 days, where some people would work 1 and so on and so forth. But we actually added another set of constraints, because in the instructions we saw that it said that employees can't work in different departments. So we basically set constraints per department. We said, and I'll kind of go show you guys an example. So for managers, the minimum managers we need Monday is 2, and the maximum is 2. So that means we got to have 2 managers. For Tuesday, we can have 1 manager. We can get by with 1 manager on Tuesday, but we don't want any more than 2 managers there. Remember, we do have 4, but we're going to limit that no more than 2 managers a day because they're expensive. I mean, that's just practical, and we only have 2 other departments at assembly and packaging, so 1 can manage each department. But we kind of set those guidelines by department, so they're not across the board equal for each day. And I'll show you how we use Solver to make sure that each employee, that criteria is met, basically. We also have the maximum shifts per day, so you can't work more than 6 shifts per day, and we made sure that we listed that as a constraint. And what we did is, I'll pop open Solver so you guys can see. We made sure that our variables that we were changing, and we made sure they were binary, so you got 0s and 1s to signify if they should be scheduled that day or they should not be scheduled that day. We also have our objective formula down here. So we found that we needed 124. Our maximum amount of skill level was 124 based on the constraints that we gave for Solver. So basically, I wanted to show you guys what we kind of thought was pretty neat, is how we got the departments to make sure that we didn't have more than 2 assembly workers or more than 2 um, packaging employees working on the same day. And that just to meet these constraints here, we actually used, oh, we don't care about that. I think it changed my objective cell. Okay. Well, so that's why we know it works. Well, anyway, so we used a sum-if formula. So we basically said, if this value is found in here, sum up Monday. And so you can see that we didn't have any assembly worker here, or Frank didn't work that day, but we did have an assembly where Barry worked. So there's one, and Maria worked, and there's two. And so when we popped this into Solver as a constraint, it made sure that we didn't have any scheduling conflicts based on these constraints down here. And we will be doing the cost analysis by Friday, and basically in the same format. We're going to add a lot more description and documentation, and possibly a chart showing the relationships. But if you guys had any thoughts or anything that you'd like to add or suggest for us, please feel free. We appreciate your time for listening to our presentation and hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. All right, take care. See you next time.